everybody, and welcome to another movie review by Josh of All Trades. This time, I'll be reviewing Infinity War, the Avengers Infinity War. Now let's start with the pacing of the movie. The first thing that I noticed was it was a nearly 3-hour movie, but let me tell you, it does not feel like it one bit. The movie sucks you in and just does not let go. I left the movie theater thinking, wow, that was really almost 3 hours. It did not feel like it one bit. Everything went well together. The plot was well conceived. This movie has been 10 years in the making. It's a culmination of all the movies that Marvel has come out with. Now, here we go. This is a movie review, and there are, warning, spoilers ahead. The movie opens up full force. You hear Ebony Maw doing his whole spiel for Thanos, and then you see Thor on the ground, Thanos walking over him. Really great setting, really sets the pace of the movie. Then they give you a little homage to the first Avengers, where Loki says, and we have a Hulk. Then you see the Hulk come out and start beating on Thanos, and you think, oh yeah. Well, at least most of the people thought, oh yeah. Then Thanos just spanks the Hulk, which brings us to our first fatality, Heimdall. Oh man, his last act was to open up the Bifrost one last time and send the Hulk over to Earth, pissing off Thanos. And so he kills him. And it brings us to our second fatality. But is his death going to be permanent this time around? Well, according to Thanos, yes, it is. But only time will tell. Then it continues on to, they use the Hulk to transition over to Earth. He tells them that Thanos is coming. There's a warning. Everybody, watch out. And they're like, who? So, then you get the explanation of all the Infinity Stones and what they are, in case you've missed it in the past 10 years. But on Earth, you can still feel the repercussions of the Civil War, because Tony hesitated calling Steve, even after he heard that the fate of the universe might be at stake. You can see how Civil War truly affected the Avengers. Then the children of Thanos land in New York and a fight ensues. You see Spider-Man come in and you see his new suit, which comes in, to say that his new suit comes in handy during the rest of the movie is one hell of an understatement. But then it transitions over to Scotland and you see heroes meeting each other. It's great, it's great. You see heroes meeting for the first time, old friends coming together. It's in a sense a really awesome movie moment, Along with some very funny moments as well, like when the Hulk finds out that there's both an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man. It's a good moment. And then the movie continues and progresses with the plot. Thanos getting his hands on the stones. If you're familiar at all with the comics, then you know that he does everything that he does for Lady Death. Here, what the Russo brothers did was really great. Instead of introducing another entity, another being, another character, they instead, in a sense, put Gamora in Lady Death's place. Now, Thanos doesn't necessarily do what he does for Gamora. They actually give him a great motivation. Overpopulation. Now, this brings me back to my review on the Black Panther, because he reminds me of Killmonger and how a motivation that was somewhat relatable. Now, I'm not saying genocide for overpopulation is the best way to go about it, because like Killmonger, he's going about it the wrong way. Now, this is on a much larger scale, of course, but it's still somewhat understandable, in a sense. In order to get all the stones, he needs to get his daughter, Gamora, because she's the only one that knows where the Soul Stone is. Well, when he gets her, Quill has to choose between the woman he loves and the fate of the universe. And man, Quill does not disappoint. Although, of course, Thanos foils their plans, but you can feel the love between Quill and Gamora during that scene. And as the story continues, Thanos needs the Soul Stone. And in order to do that, the Russo brothers did something truly magnificent. They actually made you feel pity, might be the right word, I don't know if empathy, but pity for Thanos when he has to kill the only thing he loves in order to grab what he believes to be his destiny. And right before that scene, you get a little surprise, the Red Skull. Man, it was really, truly awesome to see a character like this show up out of nowhere. It truly brings together the fact that everything within the past few movies is coming together. Minor details like this truly make the movie. So Thanos now has the Soul Gem. You feel a little bit of pity towards him, sure, but you still want him stopped. So how do you stop him? Well, Thor thinks he knows the answer. Getting a new hammer. So Thor goes and gets Stormbreaker. So if you're familiar at all with Stormbreaker in the comic books, you know that this incarnation of Stormbreaker is a little different. It's actually a combination of two different weapons. And you get another little treat when Peter Dinklage actually comes onto the screen in the form of a giant dwarf, Itri. He makes Stormbreaker for Thor. Another great little detail. But the main point of this Stormbreaker is that it can stop Thanos and open up the Bifrost. Opening up that Bifrost is how Thor, Rocket, and Groot down to Earth in the middle of the fight at Wakanda. And man, at that moment, the entire theater clapped. Both times I went to go watch it, the theater clapped. It was a great moment, great moment. They're fighting over in Wakanda because they're trying to protect the Mind Stone, Vision's head. And this battle sequence has everything. It is an amazing battle sequence. The CGI, the effects, everything. Everything is truly great. Dialogue, funny, but serious, truly a great action sequence. And in this fight, you see the deaths, 3 of the children of Thanos. And again, if you're familiar with the comics, then you know that they're not really called the children of Thanos then. They're actually called the Black Order. But we're given a different name for this movie. No big deal. And after all is said and done, at the very end of the fight, Thanos still snaps his fingers. And then come the tears. Or at least in the movie theater both of the movie theaters that I was in, I could hear it everywhere. I think for me, and maybe this was intentional, the fact that Peter Parker says, I don't want to go, I think his was one of the most emotional ones for me. It lingered, you know, it wasn't just, it was drawn out. Now, whether or not any of these deaths will be permanent, time will tell, again. And then after everything, there's no music. You see Thanos walking, sitting down, and watching his sunset, and then end. Really great movie. Again, overall, from start to finish, fantastic movie. And of course, what's a Marvel movie without a post-credit scene? Now there's only one, but it's very significant. You see Nick Fury call out to somebody right before he goes away. And of course, Samuel L. Jackson has to get his mother into the movie. Of course he does. Really great, breaking the fourth wall kind of thing. I got a little Deadpool feel to it, you know. Really funny moment. But he calls on Captain Marvel. You see at the very end, the Captain Marvel symbol. Now, for me, I've been avoiding any kind of news having to do with new Marvel movies because I wanted absolutely nothing spoiled for Infinity War. So I didn't know that Captain Marvel was supposed to take place in the 90s. And I felt like Captain Marvel would have been an ex machina. How they introduced Peter Parker and Spider-Man was great. And so I felt that having a superhero as powerful as Captain Marvel be under the radar and come up out of nowhere and possibly defeat Thanos, it felt forced. But then I found out Captain Marvel is actually in the 90s. Captain Marvel will come out before the second Infinity War, or the sequel to this Avengers. And everything fell into place once I found that out. I got excited just like everyone. It truly was a great movie. I will add one little detail, my little theory on it. When Doctor Strange looks into the future and sees different possibilities, he sees 14,605,000, if my memory serves correctly, and only one of them do they win. Now, before he fades away, Strange tells Tony Stark it was the only way. Now, what does he mean by that? Because before, he told him if it came between Iron Man and Spider-Man's lives, or the Eye of Agamemnon, that he would absolutely save the Infinity Stone instead. But then gave it up so easily? That seems like out of character. Maybe he saw that the one time that they won was they lost this battle, but will win the war. But in order to set those events in motion, to give up the time stone. That's just my theory on it. We'll see how it goes. Overall, I'm definitely giving this movie a thumbs up. Absolutely. Go watch it if you haven't yet. Well, thank you very much for watching. This concludes my review on Avengers Infinity War. More videos coming soon. You know, comment, like, subscribe, the whole spiel. Thank you guys, and see you next time.